To understand how the pagan rulers of this world keep masses of people trapped without using physical force on them, it's very easy. Once you understand continuity and what it means, you understand perfectly how they're able to keep masses of people in a large territory in a state of anxiety that keeps people going in circles. Because that's the only thing the pagan rulers of this world have. Circles to trap people in. They only have patterns and cycles. That's the only thing they have. So their power is in keeping you trapped mentally in patterns and cycles. How do they do it? How do they pull it off? They don't have the physical superpowers to grab you and make you do things. But they can make you do things while you're complying with them making you do things. But because you only see your compliance, you think it's all you. They have a grip on you, but you can't see how they can have a grip on you on such a large distance. Well, I'm going to explain to you how they do it. And demons help them, of course. They get demonic aid. But here's the reason why it's so easy for the pagan rulers to do what they're doing. Human beings have a need for security and for significance, besides the core need for safety. We really have three needs: safety, security, and significance. Security is something every human being needs and every human being wants. But not everyone agrees how security ought to be implemented. Because not everyone knows how to maintain security. And here's the thing, you can't know it. You need to have an oversight to see things you can't see. So you need to have some higher power that you adhere to, whose lead you follow. That's how you are as human being. You need some higher power. Now the higher power is Christ himself. And he wants to be the only higher power you rely on. But evil spirits, who are parasites, want to feed off of you. Because by feeding off of you that they become something. Remember, those that were kicked out of the heavens, they're not in their proper domain anymore. They don't have that heavenly glory anymore. So they need to feed with something else. And they feed with human energy. And the Nephilim, who are earthborn viruses, they automatically feed off human energy. So the paranormal is a realm that feeds off of human energy. So to feed off of human energy, you need to keep them in a low state. You have to keep them in a state of low vibration. That means in a state of fear. If you put them in a state of fear or in a state of threat or a state of anxiety, they can't think clearly, they can't look beyond, they can't process things well. And once they're in this state, they become extra sensitive to anything that entices them. Let me give an example. If you just ate a lot of bananas or a lot of apples, let's say you're filled on the inside, and I come with a delicious cheesecake to you, you would say, no, I don't need it. Why would you do that? Because you're already filled. You may not have been filled with cheesecake, but you're filled with something else. And therefore, your need for hunger has been met. So now you're able to say no to certain things. But if you're hungry, really hungry, you haven't ate for days, or you only had small supplements, and I come with some very stinking cheeseburger from some fast food restaurant, which uses old meat in their burgers. If I do that stinking burger with old meat is going to look like a delicious cheesecake to you, because you have the natural need for food, but you also have the natural need to have secure food. But because you need food anyway for your body to remain alive, and I come with a debased burger, you'll take it. Because if in a healthy condition, you wouldn't take that burger, or if you were able to afford better. So you don't want people to be able to afford better, and the best way to prevent them from being able to afford better is to keep them in a low frequency. Because then When you feed them the trash, they won't realize it's trash because it works for them. So continuity, the word already says it, things continue in a pattern. And because they continue in a pattern, you know what to expect. And this knowing what to expect gives you a sense of security. So you feel at ease because you know what's about to happen. Then you have the idea that you can manage it because you know what's going on. You're not surprised and you don't know what to do. Folks don't love being surprised. They don't know what to do. And on the end, they have to deal with stuff. They want things to be manageable for them so they are at ease. And this is what worldly people especially have. They want things at ease so they can manage them at their will without being held accountable. That's continuity. And it's this urge that worldly people have that enable the pagan rulers to keep them trapped. Because that thinking, that continuity thinking, is a trap already, but they can't see it. So the pagan rulers of the world offer them continuity through problem, reaction, solution, that ancient formula that the German philosopher Hegel explains so good. They use it. And the masses don't understand that this formula is used on them. Why? Because it works. And because it works, and you can see what's about to happen, you tend to hold on to it. Now you understand why there are people that grew up in the ghetto, in the hood, with a lot of violence, a lot of PTSD traumas. Yet they don't leave the ghetto. Why is it? They know it's a bad environment. They know that the environment is toxic, but because everything in a toxic environment happens in a cycle, in a pattern, they know what to do when something happens. If some guy walks down the street and he looks angry, we all know you shouldn't bother with him. Or if certain people arrive at a store, you know they have a right to take more than they should. Or if someone is emotionally messed up, you give them some drugs, then you're left alone. So there's a pattern, and because there's a pattern, you know what to do. It's known to you. And because it's known to you, and you can manipulate the pattern, at least of what you think, you can use the pattern to manipulate things in your favor. You think that you have power. And it's this continuity that folks are attached to. It's also called the comfort zone. And the pagan rulers of the world, they use this continuity to lead the masses into destruction. Because they're heading towards destruction, together with Satan and all those demons they worship. So they want the masses to join them in their destruction. And continuity is how they do it. Now you understand why children who grew up with toxic parents tend to look for toxic partners later in life, because it's continuity. They're familiar with it. Now, part of being renewed in your mind is to defamiliarize yourself with what you've been familiar with. If you've been familiar with scapegoating, then you need to become defamiliar with it. That doesn't mean that you don't know what it is, know how it felt like, but it means that you don't identify with it anymore. You don't see yourself through the lens of scapegoating anymore. So, being renewed in your mind implies that you become defamiliarized with the world. You're still in the world, because you have your occupation here, but you're not of the world. And this is the trick that prosperity preachers, those pagan pastors in those mega churches, use. They know about continuity, because they've been taught that by the Apollonists. They do the following. They give you a scenario in which you can't win. And they know that you can't win. But because you are already familiar with defeat, they are feeding you defeat without you being aware of it. That's how you remain trapped in defeat. A pagan pastor of a megachurch may tell you, if you sow your seed, this will go well with you. So you sow your seed, 10% of your income, sometimes 20%. You go to church every Sunday. And there is a relief, but there's no breakthrough, no deliverance. And in some areas, things become worse. Then you think, I haven't sown enough, so I need to sow more. And you sow more, but there's still a continuity of the situation. There's only extended relief. There is no victory. Why do you keep paying that pastor? Why do you keep, why do you keep giving in to the crap? It is because you're familiar with defeat. If you're familiar with defeat, then unconsciously that's what you're holding on to. You're not aware you're doing it, but you're doing it. Now, you may have been conditioned into holding on to defeat. That's not your fault. You can't help that. But you should realize what's going on and seek for deliverance. That's the only responsibility you can have, is to seek for deliverance. So knowing this about continuity and how the pink rules of the world use this to have a grasp on the masses, now you understand why the pagan rulers don't want you to walk by faith. Because when you walk by faith, you can have an impact on other people too. But if you have an impact on other people, which is not in line with the matrix, with the established patterns and cycles, the people of the world are going to think, hold on a minute. If things are not fatalistic, that means we don't have an excuse for enabling this violence. That means we need to take responsibility. And then the people of the world will go off. They will become upset, they will become angry, and they'll come and persecute you. Because that fatalistic attitude of the world is their comfort. It is a comfort zone. It is, quote unquote, their security. Think about a female in her 20s that's emotionally troubled, and she often lashes out at people, and then she says, yeah, but this is just the way I am. What's going on here? She just doesn't want to face herself, face the traumas, process the past, and move on. Really moving on. She just wants relief, so she cuts people off, or she relocates when necessary. She switches jobs often. Every job she gets, the same thing happens, and she flees again. She is familiar with fleeing. That's where she feels secure in. So unconsciously, she will refuse anything that will break that cycle. If she encounters females of the same age who are not trapped by that pattern of fleeing, she will project her frustrations onto them, and then she will push them away from her. Why? Because she's familiar with fleeing. That's why you ought to be renewed in your mind. Even if you're born again and you have the Holy Spirit, you need to be renewed in your mind. Or else it is as if you have, it is as if you have 2 billion euros in an account somewhere, and you have a bank card with you, which enables you to use those 2 billion euros, but you don't know the password of it. You're not even interested in acknowledging that you have that bank card, and let alone finding out the password. Because once you realize you have that bank card and you know the password, you are going to use it. But the moment you have that bank card that enables you to use 2 billion euros, but you don't know the password and you only carry it with you, what's the use? You have it, but you're not operating in it. And that's how a lot of believers are. That's why I'm telling you, you need to defamiliarize from this world. Defamiliarize. If it's not a term, I just invented the term to explain this. Well, that's it for now. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.